Good morning, molweni, and bonjour. Today I come bearing good news. SAA has announced its 12th destination on the African continent. Guess what's the destination? Yep, you guessed right. Abidjan, Cote d'Ivoire, Ivory Coast, whatever you want to call it. I'm so excited about this news because last year, around June, Air Cote d'Ivoire also announced a route from Johannesburg to Abidjan. So we have more options, and we have now a bigger variety of flights coming from South Africa to Cote d'Ivoire. This is big. You can start booking your tickets through SAA, South African Airways, from today, the 28th of September 2023. The first flight will be in November, the 14th of November, that's a Tuesday. That will be the inaugural flight that will come to Cote d'Ivoire. So, but from today, you can actually book a flight from Johannesburg to Abidjan. So the route actually passes through Accra. So it will spend 55 minutes in Accra and then pass Accra and come to Abidjan. The flight will operate 3 times a week, on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and on Saturdays. It will leave Johannesburg at 11 a.m. and arrive in Abidjan at 5 p.m. So it's an 8-hour flight, including the stopover in Accra. This is a really short time. This is the shortest flight. Now, this will be the shortest flight from Johannesburg to Abidjan. So this is very similar to what Air Cote d'Ivoire is also doing, because Air Cote d'Ivoire passes through Kinshasa for also around an hour, 55 minutes. And then after that, it progresses to Abidjan. I went on to the South African Airways website to try book a flight. Unfortunately, it didn't work. I'm assuming that because it's the first day, there might be technical difficulties. I'm hoping that when I go again by next week, I'll be able to book a flight on their website. I went into other websites to see if does SAA appear when I'm trying to book a flight from Johannesburg to Abidjan. Nothing yet. It's not appearing yet. So I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt because they did announce this on their website officially. And I was assuming that because they announced it officially, it should be working, right? The website should already be able to book flights from Abidjan to Johannesburg, but it's not yet. But it will. They're launching in November, so definitely by the time that they launch in November, all the technical difficulties should, I hope, be fixed by then. So you might be wondering why are flights being introduced between these two countries. I believe that South Africa and Cote d'Ivoire are really starting to build strong ties. Both the national airlines have now direct flights between Johannesburg and Abidjan. The first was announced last year, the second has just been announced. And I believe that the two countries are really working on their diplomatic ties. I believe that Cote d'Ivoire is growing exponentially and South Africa will play a really important role here. South Africa has skills. South Africa has businesses that can definitely assist in the growth of Cote d'Ivoire. And I believe this is the time for companies to explore Cote d'Ivoire. That's number one. Number two, Cote d'Ivoire is hosting the African Cup of Nations next year in January. And yes, Bafana has made it. Bafana has qualified. So we are expecting South Africans to come to Cote d'Ivoire next year in January. We're not sure yet where Bafana Bafana will be playing. We expect that on the 11th of October, the dates and the stadiums and the venues, everything is going to be announced on the 11th of October. So we're crossing fingers for that we play in certain cities that I prefer. But other than that, yes, I think it's exciting times for both the countries, and I think this is just a sign. The two airlines going between the two countries is a sign that there's growth happening between the countries. Obviously, they've done their research. They don't just start new routes without having proper research, without having done proper research and having stats and believing that there is actually traffic between the two countries. What do you think? What do you think about? Have you ever been to Cote d'Ivoire? Have you visited the country? What do you think about both the national airlines flying now to both countries and introducing the flights within a space of a year, really? I think it's quite exciting. I think there's definitely room for more collaboration and growth between West Africa and Southern Africa, especially Francophone countries. There's a huge gap and there's a huge disconnect. I know that the language is probably one of the reasons. There's other reasons, of course. I think it's about time that we don't let anything stand between the opportunities that are presented to us in West Africa. I think it's time that African countries find solutions in other African countries, and they don't have to go to Europe or America or Asia to find solutions, because there are solutions here on the continent. And yes, I'm really excited. What do you think? I'd love to see your comments down below.